All right, welcome to Come Alive by Design. I am your host, Brianna, and I am so passionate about helping you be passionately you. Okay? Because miracles happen when you're being you, right? So, what do I mean by Come Alive by Design? Well, I am an expert at human design and gene keys, and the design is really you. Okay, you are the center point of your reality, of your world. And human design is such an amazing avenue. It's not the only answer. It's so much bigger than I feel it gets credit for. So I want you to imagine that there are modalities that help us expand and grow and heal from. So you have things like astrology, you have things like the chakra system. We sometimes turn to books or to mentors or to this or to that. So, human design is actually a system and it's got many pillars. Okay. So, it's a system and it is not a personality test. So, the number one question I get asked is like, oh, this is like the Myers-Briggs personality test, or oh, is this like the Enneagram? And the answer is ironically no and yes. No, because those things that you're studying are like this big when it comes to the full quantum picture of who you really are. So, no, it's not the same because your personality is malleable, meaning your personality will shift and change based on its environment, its conditioning, and its past experiences. So your personality is just a set of behaviors that you learn that are okay or aren't okay. It's just a way that we operate, but it's not necessarily the only way. So who you are today is not who you were 10 years ago, but we're obsessed with knowing who we are. So that's a really good place to start is those different personality tests. It is not, the human design system is not a personality test. It is so much bigger than that. So I want you to imagine taking the information from the Enneagram and taking information from astrology. And I want you to understand that whatever you've studied outside of, healing or spirituality, it's all valid. It's not right or wrong, good or bad, one's more important. But when you understand that human design is a system, your brain will be like, I knew it. I knew I was limitless. I knew I was badass. And I knew that I couldn't just understand myself from this little paragraph, right? And I'm a firm believer that anything that puts us inside of a box is like not truth. Okay. So there is a fire in my belly that makes me want to shout out to the world that it is being taught incorrectly when it pushes us to a paradigm that means we're limited or we're in this box or that's just who you are, so that must be the end. Anyone that tells you that, just run. Because at a soul's level, you know that there are so much infinite possibilities happening in just this moment. Okay, so I'm Brianna. For those that don't actually know me, I am a human design and gene keys expert. I add gene keys in it because most of the population does not understand the full system. So they're like, oh, I've studied gene keys, but what's human design? Or I've studied human design, but what do you mean gene keys? Or same thing with astrology, right? So let me tell you what the system actually entails so that you can recognize, oh, I have a part of the picture already because I've studied that. Or, oh, I actually didn't know that they go together. So I'm Bree. I'm really, really passionate well, about a lot of things, but helping someone understand their identity at a big picture view versus, oh, this is just who you are and this is your past, so this must be your future, right? Like, if we're going to materialize a dream and be all that we came here to be, we need the full picture. If I said, dude, I need you to put together this puzzle and I'm going to give you 50% of the puzzle, but I need to have the puzzle done by the time I get home from work. I need you to do that. You'd be like, okay, but why are you giving me only 50% if you're asking me to complete full 100% of the picture? That's how I view human design. So human design is a synthesis. Another simple word is a blend. It is a blend of astrology as one pillar. It is gene keys as another pillar, and that's like our DNA. And then we have another pillar, which is the chakra system. Then we have another pillar, which is quantum physics. And then we've got the I Ching and the Kabbalah and epigenetics, quantum physics, and think about psychoanalysis, the ability to know what is in our subconscious mind. So human design takes all of those pillars and it alchemizes them from both science and spirituality. And here is why I am obsessed with that. Because science constantly tries to prove spirituality wrong, and spirituality constantly wants to be over here and not look at the science. But if you understand literal nature around us, you get both of them. It's not one or the other. It's this one and it's that one. It's masculine and it's feminine. It's logic and it's imagination. So I want you to imagine that you are this very system. You are the human design system. Its only flaw, its only flaw, if I had an opinion, would be that most people overlook it or don't take it serious because it's so complex, right? If I said, hey, I need you to be an expert at quantum physics and gene keys and the chakra system and this and the I Ching and this and that, and then tell me the full story, you'd be like, oh, I'm a little bit overwhelmed, right? So that's my job. I love so much looking at the art of you and telling you, wait a minute, the problem is never the picture. The problem is always what we left out of the picture. Does that make sense? So when I look at someone's human design or gene keys, I know immediately that they have left out a part, meaning there is a question they have and they think the answer is like this big. But what we fail to recognize is that we are so much bigger than we can even conceptualize, right? So, human design and gene keys, in my opinion, is that while it might be complex, I have a gift of simplicity, so much so that I am able to eliminate all of the fluff and give you the piece that actually matters, right? The part that you might have left out. On top of that, if I'm being really quite frank and honest, is that the only the only opinion that I have in a negative way about human design would be that it should be called it is a design per human. Like there is a design per human instead of going, oh, it's human design, it's a modality outside of me. No, dude. No, 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 no. The minute you think you have to try to be your human design or try to do or try to get closer to it, the farther you are from it. Okay. So, what I really desire to articulate is that you are so magical, so badass, so limitless to what is available. And you won't believe that until you start to find evidence of where the system starts to show you in words your innermost reality. So I want you to imagine you're calling a friend and you're like, I don't even have the words to tell you what I'm experiencing. And your friend, human design, says, oh, yeah, you're good. You actually don't need to explain yourself at all. It's here, here, and here. And it's okay to be at that. And you're like, whoa, like I can just be that? Your friend's like, yeah. And you don't need to justify it. Like, how cool is that, right? Like, hell yes. So, I am a big believer that life is an adventure, but we don't take the adventure until we have certainty. So, where do we create certainty? I'll tell you where to create it if you really want to know. Certainty is not outside of yourself. Certainty is being certain that you are not broken and that you can have a firm foundation in who you are. That's where certainty comes from. So, this entire intention for this podcast is to bring you to your gifts, to your truths, to the things that feel really not so good in your system, to help open your heart, to help you settle in your skin, to take the leap, to experience miracles, and to stop believing that you're broken. You're not effing broken. In this podcast, you can assume that I'm blunt and direct. I say it how it is. I'm not here to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to be so real and so authentic in my stories, my experiences, and all of the bullshit that we've been conditioned to believe we shouldn't share because we don't know one another. Bullshit. You're human, I'm human. You've had experiences, I've had experiences. So what's the middle ground and where can we learn from each other, right? So with that being said, please, please, please subscribe. If you feel already you're like, I don't know what this human design system is, but I'm stoked. I'm fired up. Let's go. You, my friend, are in the right place. So, human design is a system, and you can intend that I will teach you the most profound things that you need to know. And what I will say is there's a lot of experts that are teaching this, and they are amazing. And there is so much knowledge out there on the internet, and I have a really weird view of how I view this. So, with that being said, I'm not here to prove it right or wrong, but I'm going to show you the lens in which I see because it is so outside of the box. It is so unorthodox. It is so unique. And I feel like that is my superpower to help you get to where you're going. It's like, okay, rather than trying to change the picture on the freaking puzzle, why don't we just create a new puzzle piece? Why don't we just create a new puzzle? Like, stop trying to fit things where they don't belong. And in fact, if it doesn't fit, like, let's just get rid of it, right? That's what deconditioning is. That's who you are. That's who you're not. Here's the action to take from a place of being whole, really. Because again, you're not broken. So, I'm Bree. I'm really excited to get to know you. I want you to go ahead and drop below. Are you new to human design or are you really new at it? And what are you expecting to discover about yourself in this point of time? Are you looking at your business? Are you looking at relationships? Are you looking at health? What is your area of focus? And please comment below so that I can respond. I'm a generator. I want to respond to what your needs are, to what you're wanting me to talk to, so that I can serve you at the highest capacity. So until next time, we'll chat. You!